Okay, welcome to Dogstar Pictures. This is the first in a series of very basic how-to videos on how to do things with your photographs in Photoshop. Now I am using Photoshop CS4, but the things I'll be showing you today will not have changed in any of the upgrades. The most basic thing you want to do when you take a photograph, if you're using a really nice resolution from a DSLR, even the point and shoots with 10, 12, 16 megapixels, when you drag them into your computer, they're too large to email. And of course there's a lot of different ways you can resize your photograph so that you can use it online for different applications. But in this particular case, this is a way to do it in Photoshop. So I'm assuming you've dragged your photo into Photoshop, like I have here. And the first thing I'm going to do is go to my zoom tool. And up at the top here, I have some preset selections. This is actual pixels that you're looking at right now. That's my dog Fargo and her eyes. But this is the actual photo itself. Now I've hit fit screen, and as you can see, it's given me a bit of a buffer around the edges, and that's what I need, because the next thing I'm going to do is select my crop tool. And up here you can select definitive pixels of width, but we're going to clear those out of there because, well, first of all, maybe you want to know how big your photograph is. So you can go to image, image and image size. And here you can see it's over 4,000 pixels wide. And if you're metric or imperial, or these are for web applications, you can change your document size here, anything you wish. But I gotta keep things just the way they were. I guess I'm an inch guy. This is more for printing. So if you want to do an 8.5 by 11 on your regular printer or legal. Anyways, you can adjust things right in here. So say you only wanted 900 pixels across, which would fit on most any computer screen. Most of these images that come out of a Nikon anyway are 9 by 6s, close enough. So I hit OK. And that's now the size. But I can hit Control Z or File, Undo, no, Edit, Undo. Nope, I'm lying. Control Z. Here's a history tab. You can find your history in Window if you don't already have it on a tab. There, I've taken it away, and I hit Window and History. And the nice thing is that you have control over everything you've done since you started. Now, before I started the video, I did some touch-ups. It's photography is a bit subjective, you know. You may like the photograph better as it was before I did some shadow and highlight adjustments. It doesn't matter. Anyways, getting back to the crop tool, because that's pretty important. If you want all your photographs to be, say, 900 pixels across, you do have to put in the little PX or the IN or the CM. And so I'm putting this little pointer deal up in the top left corner. I'm holding my left mouse button down, and then I am dragging the mouse across the image all the way, and I can go too far. You see that? It will not go farther, and then I just let it go, and there I have these bars now. And so whatever I leave these whole bar things at the width. When I double click it or right click and hit crop, will be 900 across. But if you want to leave it like it is and have a 9:6, you can definitely have a 9:6. Now you see it's not exactly a 9:6. So I'll do that. I'm just hitting Control Z so it keeps going back to our original. I still have not cropped it. And what if you wanted a desktop background or something high resolution? 1920 by 1080. That's a good dimension for creating a desktop background. And so here, unfortunately, you do have to be pretty brutal with your photograph and crop quite a bit. And I'm using my arrow keys to move it up and down, but you can also use your left click and hold and dragging of the mouse to also position how much you want to crop. And let's say you do want to use a desktop background, because that's actually what I crop most of mine to, because I like to look at my dogs on my desktop. And so now I've got this about there. I don't like to crop a dog's ears, and some people actually surgically cut their dog's ears off, and you don't want to do that because the ears are a very expressive part of a dog, and you never want to do that. If your neighbor does that, you want to go and give him or her what for, because that's just a terrible thing to do, because you want to have some clout at a dog show. But that's not what this is about. So I'm going to double click this, and now I have my final image that will fill a desktop, that will fill any high definition screen, because 1920 by 1080 is full HD. So now I want to save it. So I'm going to go File, Save for Web, and then this screen comes up. And this screen here, you can arrange it several different ways, but basically it's set for a GIF. I'm going to set it for a JPEG, and you have your hand here, and so this is the original, and I'm dragging it around, and then there's with the settings that you have. This bottom one is what it will look like when you're done compressing it. We have a quality of 70, so 70% of the original. You can go higher or lower, and as you can see down in the bottom left corner, it says it's going to be 328 kilobytes, and so that's about a third, almost exactly a third of a megabyte, which is, these days with good internet, that's actually really good, but you should experiment with it. If you pull that slider down to 13, now you can see some actual degradation. But look at that, it's almost 70 kilobytes, and that's just insane. Let's see if we can get it under 50 for a desktop background, because some people and some web applications require that. Looks like that's going to be a tall order. But anyways, you can always sacrifice some size or some quality. I've got it down to 57, and now we're really starting to lose it. And 3. Wow, I don't think I would ever accept some. There we go. At 0, you've lost a lot of quality, but you've got it under 50 kilobytes, which boy, is basically at the atomical level of internet these days. Gone are the dial-up days, except for some of you out there probably are not watching a 10-minute video of mine on dial-up. Anyways, I'm going to leave this under 10 minutes, so we're going to get the quality back up to a nice 70, and then we're going to save it and to my desktop, and I'm just going to call it Fargo, because that's the name of the dog. And there, Fargo is all done. And I'll show you Fargo, if I can find Fargo on the desktop. There's Fargo. Fargo's looking good. So thanks for tuning in.